Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do some unit conversions. So if you're having trouble, you can watch this video to help you figure it out. You can pause it as many times as you want to make sure you understand what's going on and you get a chance. The only thing you're going to need is a calculator, and I've got one right here. So here we go. I showed you an example up here of how you can chain these unit conversions together, but most of these problems down here are just single unit conversions. So let's try this out. No matter what the question asks you, it's going to take the form of multiple fractions kind of chained together to an answer. Okay, so this first one says convert 115 pounds to kilograms. So 115 pounds to kilograms. So if we've got pounds as our unit up here, that means pounds is going to be down here. And the reason for that is that we want these units to cancel out. That's what happened up here. Cats canceled out, grams canceled out, pounds canceled out, and we ended up with dollars per day. So let's look down here. All right, do you see a conversion factor up here that will get us, or a conversion factor meaning an equality? 1 milliliter equals 1 centimeter cubed, for example. Do you see one that will get us from pounds to kilograms? Pause and look. All right, here we go. I found one right here. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So here we go. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. All right, let's cancel our units. Pounds cancels out. What did it ask for? Well, it gave us pounds and it asked us for kilograms. We have kilograms, so we're ready to do the math. So here we go. Okay, 115 times everything on the top, which is just times 1, divided by everything on the bottom. All right, there we go. 52.27. Now, how many decimal places should we keep? Well, in general, I keep as many as the original chunk in that answer had. So this had no decimal places at all. So let's round this to 52 kilograms. Okay, we circle our answers, and there we go. So that's how these work, and if you'd like to see the answers, they are down here at the bottom for you to check. But remember, it's not the answers that matter. You must show all your work on all your questions, always. No units, you're going to miss some points. No work, no points. So here we go. Let's do another one of these. Convert 5 feet to centimeters. All right, what is the thing we started with? Feet, what do we want to get to? Centimeters, all right. We know we're always going to have at least 2 of these, so I'm just going to set them up. We start with 5 feet, so we're going to put 5 feet as our given. That's that starting top left place. And then we know if we're converting that we're going to have feet down here. So here we go. Feet. Do we see anything that takes us straight from feet to centimeters? Well, let's look up here. I see... Let's see, 1 meter, 3 feet, no, that goes meters to meters. Inch to centimeters, okay, we've got inches to centimeters here, but no feet to centimeters. Well, that's okay. Do you know how many inches are in a foot? Yes, of course. 1 foot is 12 inches. Feet cancel out, so now we're working in inches. All right, now we can do another conversion. How do we go inches to centimeters? Well, here we go. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. Okay, so here we go. Where should inches be? Well, it was up top here, so it should be down here. Inches. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. Cross out our inches. We ended up in centimeters, so we know we're done. And now we can do our math. Ready? I'm just going to multiply across the top. 5 times 12 times 2.54. Then I'm going to divide by everything on the bottom. Divided by 1, divided by 1. Did I have to do that? No. That's fine. So what's our final answer here? Well, I'm running out of space a little bit here, but equals 152.4, sure. Or you can just round to 152. We're not gaining or losing points for rounding in this. So there we go. And we'll check our answer. Ta-da! Nice job. All right, I want you to pause and take this one on your own. All right, and then you can check to see if you got it right. Everybody pause. Be good. All right, here we go. Our starting thing is 1.5 pounds. Okay, and what are we trying to convert it to? Grams. All right, let's look up here. Do we have pounds per grams? Oh, we do, God bless. All right, 1 pound is equal to 454 grams. That was easy. 1.5 times 454, 681 grams. All right, so that's how much a roll of aluminum foil weighs. Shall we check? 680.4. Okay, they probably used a slightly different conversion factor, and that's okay. All right, friends. You may absolutely continue to do these. If you need some extra help at this point, you should stop and go talk to your instructor to get some help on this one. But you can absolutely continue converting these. All right. Let's take a look here. We've got joules. Do we have joules up here? Yes. 1 calorie is equal to 4.184 joules. All right, this one's a little bit tricky. What does that K stand for here? Do you remember this? What does that K stand for? Remember, K means kilo, which means 1,000. So, can we do this conversion? Yes. We have 120 kilocalories. I'm doing one more for you, I've decided, because this one's a little tricky. Do you have anything that goes from kilocalories to joules? No. But, because you know what kilo means, all right, you know that 1 kilocalorie is equal to 1,000 calories. Cross out kilocalorie. All right, now can you go from calories to joules? Absolutely. 1 calorie is 4.184 joules. Here's what I want you to know about the way we're writing this. Are there other ways to do this math? Absolutely, but that's not really the point of this. The point of this is communication. This is how chemists communicate their mathematics. So I do need you to do that in this format. Is it obnoxious? Right now, yes, but someday I'm going to give you problems that are way more complicated. Whoop, did I press something wrong there? Let's check that again. 120 times 1,000 times 4. 120 times 1,000 times 4.184. Nope, it's just a really big number. Okay. Looks like we've got 5,002, or 502,080 joules is our answer. Let's take a look. Yep, that's it. All right. Setting them up like this, though, it's about communication. So you do, in fact, need to do it this way. I know it's a stretch. Hang in there. This is, or I know it's a different kind of form. Hang in there. This is part of communication. So nicely done. Go ahead and do these. Check your answers. And then I do want to show you one other type of problem in here. The inside problems have a lot of density problems. All right. I hope you haven't forgotten density, but if you have, here's a quick refresher. Convert a mass of 8 kilograms and a volume of 10 liters to a density in grams per milliliters. Well, we know that density is equal to mass divided by volume. That was from our first unit. So, do we have a mass divided by volume here? Absolutely. 8 kilograms is a mass, and 10 liters is a volume. So here we go, that's our density. However, we were not asked to do kilograms per liter, we were asked to do grams per milliliter. Okay, well, here we go. Can we convert kilograms to grams? Yes, we can. 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. We can cross out kilograms. Now we're at grams per liter, great. However, they asked for grams per milliliter. All right, no problem. How many milliliters are in a liter? Good question, sire. Here we go. All right. Mille, again, means 1,000, but mille, because it's 1,000th of a liter. It's much smaller. So, and if you're wondering where I'm getting this from, this is one of the sheets you're going to get today that explains what all of these are and has some practice problems for you. And this is going to go in your notebook right here, right next door. All right, so if you need to go grab this and add this in now, you absolutely may. So here we go. Got grams, liters. All right, we need to go from 1 liter is how many milliliters? Well, let's take a look. Milli is 1,000th. So how many thousandths of a liter are in a liter? Well, it's 1,000 of them. Okay, cross out liters, and now we've got grams per milliliter. Excellent. Here's the good news. We've got 1,000 on top and 1,000 down below. So those are going to cancel out. And in fact, we do get 8 divided by 10 grams per milliliter. And you can do the math on that yourself. 0.8 grams per milliliter. Congratulations. You did it. Shall we check our answer? Let's see. It's number 9. Yep, that's correct. So, you might need to chain some of these together. If you're having trouble, go see your instructor and get some targeted help. Thank you very much.